The linen is soaked through. You've been lying still for so long that the morning air has turned the sweat on your back cold. Somewhere beyond the painted walls, a priest's chant rises before the sun does. Low, rhythmic, relentless, the same words he has spoken every morning for 30 years. You know them without understanding them. You were not meant to understand them. You were meant only to hear them and to be still. A hand touches your shoulder, not gently. The daughter of Ra does not sleep past the first hymn. You open your eyes. Above you, the ceiling is blue, a deep, sacred blue, threaded with gold stars that have never moved and never will. This ceiling belongs to the palace of Thebes. This chamber belongs to your father. And you, though you have your own name, though your mother whispered it to you once like a secret, you belong to no one, and you belong to everyone. You are the daughter of Pharaoh. Rise. You are 7 years old the first time you understand what you are. Not who. What. A visiting delegation from the north has come to pay tribute. You are dressed before dawn, white linen, a broad collar of faience beads that sits heavy on your collarbone, a wig that belongs to an older version of you that does not yet exist. Your handmaid winds coal around your eyes with a stick no thicker than a reed. You do not blink. You have been taught not to blink. In the hall, the men from the north prostrate themselves, foreheads to the floor. 30 men, pressing their faces into the stone as though the earth itself demands it. And beside your father on his great seat, smaller, still, silent, you sit. You are not sure if they are bowing to him or to the idea of him. You are not sure if there is a difference. Your father does not look at them. He looks forward, into a middle distance that seems to exist beyond the walls, beyond the river, beyond the country entirely. This is something you will practice later, alone in your chamber, standing against the wall. The art of looking at nothing, of making your face into a surface, smooth as alabaster, revealing nothing beneath. Egypt is not ruled by one man. Your father would never say this, and neither would you. But you feel it in the way Vizier Amenhotep pauses before translating your father's words to the delegation, adding something, subtracting something, reshaping the sentence like wet clay before it reaches another man's ears. You file this away. You have learned to file things away. The palace is full of things you see and are not supposed to have seen. A servant beaten for dropping an offering vessel, not beaten out of anger, beaten as a demonstration, so that the other servants watching would understand the cost of carelessness. A letter from the eastern border, the clay tablet passed quickly from hand to hand before being placed face down on a table. Your father's second wife laughing too loudly at something a courtier said, and the silence that followed her laughter, and the way she stopped laughing immediately and never laughed like that again. You are not a child in the way the children along the river banks are children. Running, dusty-kneed, loud. You are a symbol being carved. Every day, another chisel mark. Your days are not your own. They have never been your own. This is not cruelty, or rather, no one would call it cruelty, because no one here can see it clearly enough to name it. You wake before the sun. Ritual washing, ritual dressing, ritual presentation to the household shrine. The prayers are spoken for you, around you, through you. You are present at them the way a column is present in a temple, structurally necessary, but not itself a worshiper. Lessons come next. You learn the formal script, the sacred words inscribed on temple walls, the names of the gods in their correct order, the proper titles for every rank of official so that no one is accidentally elevated or demoted by a careless word from your mouth. You learn accounts, not because you will one day manage them, but because a pharaoh's daughter who cannot read numbers can be deceived, and a deceived princess is a liability. Your tutor is a thin man named Ka with a scar across his left hand that he never explains. He corrects you without expression. When you answer correctly, he moves forward. When you answer incorrectly, he waits, not impatiently, but with a stillness that feels like a wall, until you find the answer yourself. You have never heard him raise his voice. You have never heard him praise you. These two absences feel like the same thing. There are other lessons that no one announces. Lessons in posture. You balance a small clay jar on your head during afternoon instruction until keeping your spine straight becomes not a choice, but a condition of your skeleton. Lessons in silence. You learn which silences are powerful and which are fearful, and how to produce one and not the other. Lessons in appetite. You eat what is placed before you, in the quantity permitted, and you do not reach for more, and you do not comment on what you have not been given. Once you are hungry for 3 days. Not starving, the portions are carefully measured, but hungry. And the hunger teaches you something that no tutor ever explains directly, that the management of your body is not your business. Your body belongs to the image. Feed it enough to maintain the image. No more. In the afternoon, there are visits. Wives of officials, daughters of foreign dignitaries, priests with petitions that are never quite what they seem. You sit. You receive. You respond in the formulas you have been taught. You give nothing, no opinion, no preference, no reaction that has not been pre-approved by the architecture of your upbringing. There's a girl who comes sometimes with her mother, the wife of a southern official. The girl is your age, and she is not trained. She fidgets. She looks directly at things. She asks questions out loud that you would only ask inside your own head in the deepest part of the night. You watch her the way you would watch a bird that has wandered into a chamber it has no business being in, with a mixture of wonder and dread. One afternoon, she reaches across the table and takes a date from the offering bowl. Just takes it, pops it in her mouth, looks at you, and you realize that your face has done something it is not supposed to do. You look jealous. You arrange your face. She does not come back after that. You are not told why. There is a festival. There is always a festival. This one celebrates the flooding of the Nile, the great annual mercy that makes Egypt possible. For a week, the entire city is given to ceremony. Offerings burned at the temple gates, boats decorated with lotus flowers floating on the dark water, the smell of incense so thick that it lives in your hair for days afterward. You are carried through the crowd in a litter. The curtains are drawn back so that the people can see you. The sound is enormous. They cry out the name that is not your name, the divine title, the daughter of the sun title, the title that belongs to the role and not to you. They reach toward the litter. A woman holds up a small child, pointing, the child squirming, confused. An old man falls to his knees in the mud of the riverbank. A young girl your age stands very still in the crowd with her mouth open, watching you pass, and something in her face, a kind of longing mixed with awe, carves itself into you. You smile. You have been taught to smile. Serene. Present. Not too wide, which would suggest emotion. Not too narrow, which would suggest coldness. A smile calibrated to suggest divine benevolence, which is a feeling, as far as you can tell, that you have never actually felt. Your handmaid rides beside the litter. She leans close and says quietly, without moving her lips much, face forward. Not too long on any single person. You face forward. The crowd continues. The sound continues. And somewhere inside the ceremony, inside the litter, inside the white linen and the broad collar and the wig and the coal, there is a small chamber that belongs only to you, and in it, a single, silent question that you are not permitted to ask. Is any of this real? You already know the answer. The answer is that the question does not matter. Real or not, this is the material of which Egypt is built. The people below need you to be what you are. The priests need you to be what you are. The grain stores, the tax records, the eastern border, the complex web of marriages and alliances that keeps your family on this throne, all of it requires you to be what you are. You face forward. You keep the smile. You are 17 the year your father falls ill. No one tells you this directly. You learn it, as you learn everything, through the texture of silences, the way the senior priests begin meeting in rooms that are suddenly, inexplicably locked, the way the vizier walks faster through the corridors and stops smiling at junior officials, The way your father's personal physician appears at dawn 3 days in a row when before he came only once a week. You are not supposed to see any of this. You see all of it. There is a meeting you are not invited to. You know this because you pass the chamber door and hear your own name spoken by a man whose voice you do not recognize, and then the conversation stops, and the door does not open. That night, your handmaid comes to your room not at the appointed hour, but late, when the palace has quieted. She has been crying. She does not tell you she has been crying. She would never tell you that. But her eyes carry the evidence, and you have been trained to read faces, so you read hers. There is talk, she says. That is all. You know what talk means. You have always known. In the world of kings, a sick father is not just a sick father. He is a problem to be managed, a succession to be navigated, a body whose remaining value is primarily political. And a daughter, even a daughter of Ra, even a worshipped daughter, is always first an instrument of alliance, a thing to be placed. They will marry you, not to someone you have chosen, not to someone you have even met, to whoever strengthens the position of whoever ends up holding power when your father stops holding it. A northern prince, perhaps, a general, a cousin from a rival branch of the family, someone who needs the legitimacy that your blood provides and nothing else. You sit in your room that night, long after your handmaid has gone, with the blue ceiling above you and the gold stars that never move. You think about the girl who took the date from the offering bowl. You think about the woman in the crowd holding up her child. You think about the old man falling to his knees in the mud. They believed in you. They still believe in you, right now, at this moment, while you are sitting alone and afraid and entirely powerless. And it comes to you, not as a thought exactly, more as a sensation, something cold that settles in your chest and stays, that worship and captivity can be the same thing, that the people who fall to their knees at your passing have locked the door just as surely as the men in that room have, that there is no version of this life in which you are free, that freedom was never available to someone like you, that perhaps it was never meant to be. You do not weep. You have been taught not to weep in ways that leave marks. You lie down. You face forward. The morning comes, as it always does. The chant rises before the sun. The same words, the same voice, the same rhythm, 30 years of mornings, and 30 more to come, whether you are in this room or another room, whether your name has changed or not, whether the man sleeping on the great throne is your father or your husband. Your handmaid enters with the linen. She does not meet your eyes. This is the protocol. You are not met with eyes in the morning. You are dressed, and then you are presented, and then you exist for the day in the form that has been prepared for you. The broad collar is placed around your neck, the wig settled on your head, the kohl drawn around your eyes with careful, practiced hands, and in the polished copper mirror held before you, a face you recognize, serene, present, divine, composed, looks back at you. Somewhere in the city, the old man who fell to his knees in the mud will wake and tell his grandchildren that he saw the daughter of Ra, that she was radiant, that she smiled directly at him, that he felt, in that moment, that all was well in Egypt and would remain so. He will believe this completely. You smooth your linen. You are ready.